Okay, let me give some tasks to practice. So far, like we covered about wrapper classes, select options, and then some form tags in a Visual Force page and page block table. That all we covered so far. So, and now we're covering a collections part. So using all this, like what are all that we can do the task. I'm trying to give some of the examples and let me explain over here. So create a wrapper class using the student information. So you can add more information as well, but at least try with this information. So I'm not mentioning what should be the data type and all. You can figure out what should be the data type and how you want to put it. And then using the same information, use some dummy data and display the information in a page block table. And I have shown you like taking the account example and adding some accounts and displaying the page block table. Similarly, you have to use a collection of student records using this wrapper class and display in a page block table. And third one is like first one, like here you're trying to add some dummy data rightly in the class. But in the third example, don't do it. Don't hard code, or even though if you hard code also, the third part, create a form, and the form you have to enter the values like student name, roll number, age, standard, section, address, school name, everything you have to enter. And when you click submit or save, it has to add in the list. And similarly, once you submit, so it will be in the list. So how many times you do a submit, it has to add those records into the your collection in the class. Okay, that is one. Third one. And fourth one, create a drop down. So I have not mentioned the previously the standard has to be a drop down, but this time make standard as a drop down values. The education type would be like nursery, first standard, second standard, LKG, UKG, and intermediate if it is any groups like MPC, BPC. If it's a graduation like engineering or like MBBS, what all possible we have, you can put all those included in the drop down. It's not like you need to put all, at least as many values as you can add in this list. From nursery to PC, you can add any number of values. And this one, we can add colors to the drop down also. Like how you want to color is like primary education, like if it is from nursery to fifth standard, keep one color for all those drop down values. Use the same drop down values what you're having. And let's say higher, for example, from 6th to 10th, and then like intermediate, you have different colors like intermediate or polytechnic, it gives different color, and graduation, all courses with the graduation give one color. So all these groups should have a same color in the drop down. And then sixth one, if you want to disable some of the standards, let's say if you want to don't want to select MBBS courses, so how you will disable? So disable some courses, and even though it will show in the drop down, but the user cannot select those. That was what I mean by disable. And then add some validation rules. So in the task 3, we have seen that we are trying to add the student information into the collection using the form. In the same form, like in the list already, if you having in the first case, what I explained, how many times you click the button, those many times the records need to be added into the collection. But while you click on the button, it has to check whether already student name is exist in the list or not. If it exists, you have to give an error message in the page and it should not be added to the list. If it's a different student name, then only it will add to the collection. And it has to show the message saying student information is duplicate, or you can give any valid message that you want. And eighth one, creating a dependent pick list. So create a so here we have standard, add one more called course name, and this course name is what we having over here, the grouping colors we have, right? Similarly, make it as a different drop down, And initially, the standard has to be a blank value. It should not have any values. And whenever you have selected this any of the group, based on that, what are all the standards that are belonging to this course has to shown in the second drop down called a standard. Okay, hope I made it clear. Any questions before we jump on to our today's class? If you don't understand or if you're not able to correlate, anything you can ask. Hello. Silence, I'll make it as you all understand it. Okay. Okay, then I already posted this in the group, so please take a look and practice. Yep. And any questions from the previous session, like the list collection? Okay, if you don't have any question, so today I will ask more questions onto the list collections, what we already explained. Most of things will be repeated for the set. So help me here in writing the syntaxes. Okay, and let me log in quickly and let's see. Okay, going to the developer console. So how to open existing classes? File, open. You will see classes, triggers, pages, components, objects, everything. So I want to open a class. So previously we have a list class methods. I want to open it. So we have to click on that and click on open. So it will be opened. And now I'm going to create a new class saying set class methods. Okay, so here what I had to how to start writing my code using constructor, and then followed by it has to be same name as a class, and there will be no return type for the constructor. And now here we keep on going writing our code for now. So what is the first part? First part is what is a set and its capabilities. Set is also an array of any of the data type, but how it is different from a list is it will not allow duplicate values. So wherein duplicate means here it has to match the characters and it has to match the case as well. Ram and Ram are not duplicate values. So even though if you add the with capital R and smaller, it will allow. Why? Because both are not a duplicate values. Why? Because they are case sensitive. Okay, so it will not allow the duplicate values. First point. Second point was it will not maintain in the index. That means, so what are the values you add to the set? You will not have any indexing for it. So if you don't have an index, it will not maintain the insertion order. It will maintain. it will not, sorry, it will not maintain the index. It will not maintain the insertion order. Why? Because we don't have an index, so it cannot maintain the insertion order. And then we cannot perform the DML operations for S objects. And whereas everything will be opposite to a list. So it will allow duplicate values, it will maintain index, it will maintain insertion order, it will allow DML operations for list, whereas in set it is opposite. So then why we have to go for a set? What is advantages of a set? So again, the same or advantages only. Well, it will not allow duplicate values. So when you something you add to the set, it will always be unique values. So if you want to maintain any unique set, then you're going to use a set collection. Okay, and yeah, let's jump on to the constructors. So constructors will be exactly same as a list. There will be no difference. So I will just copy from there and add over here to save some time. So here I'm going to have student names. Why with the typos? If there are any typos, excuse me. So here I'm going to have set of string. Then I'm going to declare it as a student names, and I'm going to declare. So in the constructors, I'm going to initialize it. So while doing initialization, you have to use a set only, new set of empty bracket. So empty initialization. And if you want to use some elements, I'm going to use the same elements that I have here. So I can use single elements and add to the list while giving the constructors. And I have to use old student list and new student list. So either you can create a set by another from another list or from another set. So this is what the constructor, nothing difference. So everything is same. So any questions so far? So I'm making it speed. Why? Because everything is same. The only keyword different is instead of list, we're going to use set. That is only the difference. Everything is same only. Okay. Now jumping onto the methods. So here for methods, yep. Moving over here. So set methods. So if you want to add single elements, how we can add? Add method. So if you have anything, just give a add, and you have to give elements like S3, and you have more. You can just follow like that. You can add any number of elements. So method is add, method add, show list. Okay, so after adding that, we can see it. Now, after add, what we have? So if you have a single values, you have to add multiple times. If you having more to add at the same time, so you will use add all. So add all. So while you're saying adding all, so it's not a single element. It's going to be a list or a set. So we can use the same ones what we had here in the old student list or old student set also. You can use here. So here it's going to be a add all, and whereas here also we can use a list or you can use the set also for using the add all method. So what are the different way of doing it? If you want to give, like if you want to give instantly some value, some multiple values, like s1 comma s2 comma s3 comma s4 comma s5. So I'm here, what I'm doing, I was creating a new list and adding all those values to the student names. Okay, that's what I was doing. And this is what, in this also we are having a same list. I mean, this is also a list, and this is also considered as a new list only. Okay, so method add all show list. Okay, I was done with add and add all. Then I will explain first clone and then followed by a clear, so that I don't lose all these values. So clone, same way how we did there. So what we have to do, we have to create a fresh set, and I would say cloned student set equal to so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to clone the student names dot clone, so that everything there in the student names will be cloned to the student set. So and now I want to see the clone of it, what will happen to it. Method clone, show this one. Okay, once the clone is done, the next one I want to do is, so please stop me whenever you have a question, and if you are feeling it is too fast, then please stop me, then we can explain it very neatly. Okay.
Bala, one question.
Yep.
So in the add all, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the first statement is not required, right? That, yeah, is that required now?
No, it's not required. So we're not trying to keep the a list whether it's the values are already there or not. What I'm trying to show here was the add all is used to add another list to the set or another set to the set. Anyway, the already, so we are adding so many times here. If you observe from top to bottom, we're trying to add so many times the same values in it. But what are all the syntaxes I'm trying to explain here? That is, if you have a set and if you use the add all method, what are all that you can use in the add all method? You can use a list, or you can use a set, or you can use an instant list or instant set. That all you can use using the add all method. It's not required. Why? Because we already adding over here, so it is not actually required, but you can do this one.
Yeah, got it.
And we are cloned and then clear. So this one student names, and when you perform this clear operation, everything will be vanished and you will be having a clear, I mean empty set. And then before I want to proceed, I want to again clone the values of student clone set to my regular set, so that it will not confuse. So I'm trying to clear the values here and again restoring the values from my clone set to the student names. Okay, then equals. So here equals. So I can check whether I want to compare two sets, whether the two sets are same or not. I can use this equal method, and it will return me either true or false. So based on the true or false, I can know whether both are equal or not. So here I know student names are cloned version of this clone student set. So obviously both has to be same, and it has to return the true value. And if I try to use it with student set, it should not be returning a true. It will be returning a false. Why? Because it is a different set, not exactly same. So here, what we'll do here, just compare the two values and then use the method equals and show a result. Student names dot equals of clone set of it. So what will happen? It has to expect value as a true. And when you're trying to do with the whole student set, it has to be different. So can we use a list here? Obviously no, so both are not the same data type, so it will not allow you to use a list. So I'm trying to use a list here. Let's see whether it's allowing the syntax or not. So before it's validating, I'll jump on to the next one, method called contains. Okay, that was my bad. So you can compare with the list also. Sorry about that. So you can compare the equal methods with the set or list when you're doing a equals method with the list, sorry, set of a collection of a set, and contains method. So contain method is if you're having one element, if you want to check that element is present in the in your set or not, you can. So it will also return the true or false value. If it is there, it will return true. If it is not there, then it will return the false value. Okay, method equals not equals. So here it's going to be a contains method and show result, and student contains the name. So what is the element we want to give? Let's say if I want to give the element is S3, then we already the element is already there. It has to give the value as true, and if I use the instant method is like different element, so it will expect a false value. Okay, that is the contains one. Next one is the contains all. And contains all, when we saying all, it is going to be a list or set. We're trying to compare. It could be a subset or it could be a more. So all we're trying to do is all the elements in this um, the, the parameter, the set or list is present in the actual set that what we're trying to test. If it is there, then it will return true. If it is not there, then it will return false. So instead of a single value, what we are going to use was we're going to use a list or a set. So while it doing a comparison, it will check all the elements and do the same operation as a contains. So the single element is not allowed. So we have to use a set or a list we can use, or list or set we can use. In terms of this, we can use like new list of string, and you can mention here saying You can use any list or a set also you can use. Similarly, same thing can be done for set as well. So you're not doing a single value comparison, you're doing all in a one go. So even though there are some values present and some values are not present, it will check result as the whole list. So even there is one element is not present in this set, then also the result will be a false, even though some values are there. So you are checking for all values. If all values are present, then only it will return true. Otherwise, the result will be a false. And then um, using a get method. So while using in a list, if you use a get method, we use the index, right? Using the index, we'll get the element. What we're going trying to do here, get. 1 second. Whether it's a valid method or not, first of all. What would be the get history? Hmm. Okay, single value is not allowed. It will allow the set or not. I don't think like it is a valid method, maybe my bad. If I give it 0. So actually it's not a valid method. Sorry about that. Get as object type, same as a list. So if you're having like a set of S objects like account and so this is what the syntax. So when you're trying to guess object type, it will be valid method only if your set is on a S objects, then only it is a valid method. And if you're trying to do this S object type, one second, first of all, it is valid or not. Let me see. S object type, this typo is right or not. I think this may not be the valid type for again. Set. What I did over here. Not check the methods or not. It's not valid there. Index of also is not valid for this one. Is empty. Yeah, you can check this one is empty. So get S object type also not a valid method for a set collection. And here the method is we're trying to do is empty, and we have a students, and if you're trying to use a method is empty, it will also return either true or a false. So if it is empty, then it will return true. If it is not empty, then it will return false. And here, what I will do was we have a clone set somewhere over here. Just I will try to clear it and then use the isEmpty method. So I have this one. So I want to new set of string. So this will also clear the set. Okay. So if I try to check if isEmpty function on this, it has to return me a true value. Okay, and then followed by remove element. So this is used to, like, let's say if you have some set of values and if you want to remove the value, remove the element from the set, you can use the remove method. So it will not return anything. So if you have a students and dot, if you do a remove and you have to pass the element I was trying to do is this one, and I want to see. So and the method is remove method and show list. So actually it has to be a set for all the ones. Show set, show set, show set, show set. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to remove one element, and once I removed, I want to see whether the value is removed from here or not. That's what I was trying to check. And then so once you do remove, so why? Because we don't have any duplicate values, so you will no longer see this element in this set. Whereas in a list, when you have a duplicate values, it will only remove the by index. So first of all, you need to identify the index, then you have to remove the element. So the index position will be removed over there. Okay, and moving on to the next one, remove all. If you want to remove all, so wherever you see the remove all, so that means you are trying to do the operation on a multiple. So here, when you say remove all, it has to be either list or a set. I'll use set. This is also valid, and if you use the list also, that is also going to be a valid. So you can use both, and then you can see the result, what will be there after you doing a remove all from the student names. And then followed by the retain all. How remove all and retain all are different. So you by the name itself, you might guess what it does. So previously, when we are doing a remove, whatever there we are providing this set, if there is any matching values, we're trying to remove all of them from the set that you are trying to perform the operation. So if the values are not there, it will not remove. If it is there, then it will sorry, then only it will remove. But we don't know what to remove, but you know what to retain. That means like you have values x, y, z, and if you want to remove x, you will use a remove method. If you know what need to be removed, like multiple values like x and y you have to remove, then you will use a removal method. But you don't know what all values are there, but you want to keep only the set that you are going to give, and you want to remove all the remaining values. Then you have to use a retain one. So here, let's say the valid, sorry, the allowed values are, you can pass a list or a set. First of all, I was trying to show the what are the allowed syntaxes, then we will perform one operation over here. So here, if I give a new set saying S1, S2, S3, S4, S5. So I'm going to have 5 values. So if the 5 values are not there in the set itself, so how we can return it? It's not a possible, right? Let's see what the result it's going to return. So after using a return all show set, we have one more method called two more methods, size and toString. These are like same as a list only. So just try out like how what is the result will be. This class name is set class methods, set class methods, object equal to new. So I have all code in the constructor. So just if I create a one single object also, the constructor will be called. So debug. See one by one, first one is empty initialization, second one is initializing two values, and third one is the initializing using another list or a set. Both are same set and list, so no changes. And show set. So here, when you add multiple values like S1, S2, then this is what the result after you adding S1 and S2 and adding all. So here we're trying to add a list and a set over here. So if you see here, at any point of time, do you see any duplicate values? We don't see any duplicate values. When you are trying to clone exactly the same set, it is cloned. And when you clear, it's a empty results. And we are checking whether they're equal or not. When we compare with the clone set, it is true. When we're comparing with the other set, it is false. And we're comparing with other one also, it is false. Again, contains whether the element is there or not. If it is there, then it will return true. If it is not there, then it will return false. And contains all. So it will compare with each one, right? First two are true, and second ones we gave some different value. That's why it's returning a false. Even there is one value is not there, it will return the false. And then whether it's empty or not, if it is empty, then it will return false. Sorry, if it is empty, it will return true. If it is not empty, then it will return false. Then remove or show set. So when you remove the value, so here what previously I have a element called bala. So here I removed it. So no longer I see that value. When I'm giving a remove all from the list or set, I have a Bala and Mohan. You no longer see the Bala and Mohan over here when using remove all from the set or a list. So when you say retain the show set, so here we don't have that one. See what we're trying to do. First one is we're trying to retain. Already I removed the same set and list. So the thing was this set itself not having values. Um, sorry. If you're trying to retain these values and remove everything, what it will do, it will remove everything except these values. But these values also not there. So what happens? It will become the empty set. Why? Because if it is having any of these values, then only it can retain. If it's not having, then it will not. So let's say I want to add any of this value to it, and if I try to retain, then only it's going to work. So at least it will retain the S1 value now. So I'm trying to execute the last one. So the last statement, it has to retain